Welcome to 3 on the Ones and Twos with your hosts, Tom, Cassie, and James. Just 3 old friends talking about their favorite records. Think of it as the coolest book club for music nerds.
Oh my goodness! Well, happy anniversary to Mikey and Brian and the Trackside Tavern, 40th anniversary.
40th anniversary.
Bobby's in the house. No, it's been a really wonderful day in the ATL, and I'm so grateful for all of it, because my favorite things are hanging out with people I love and talking about the thing that I love most, which is music. Shout out to Kelly and Michelle, Death Pickles.
Death Pickles.
Matt. Shout out to our partner James, who's not with us, who is hanging out in the Cabanista in the mountains, listening to Sandinista with his family and nothing but love. The best thing about this show is, and I've said this before, whether I'm in New York or here, I go to a show, people go, you know what you should do with your show? I go, stop. Whatever you want me to do with my show, get your own show.
That's true.
Because I get to do whatever I want with my show.
Valid point.
Cassie, one of my best friends. We tried to rob a few banks, but I think we just held up a Fellini's on Ponce at 2 a.m. once, whatever. Chet Knight, I've known since the early 90s. Beautiful, brilliant man. I think he was living with my really good friend Gary Lindsay.
That is true. He was living with me.
Yeah,
but,
yes, that's clarified that.
But that's fine.
But, and much love to Gary and all of our friends. And that's the best thing about all of it. I say this because I only have 2, I think, maybe marketing classes in college, but like punk and oi and punk rock and skateboarding was like my fraternity.
Yep.
And that's how we met.
Yeah, for sure.
And this guy met me when I had no talent, and now I have like tremendous talent. No, you know. I want to thank Brian again and Mikey and Trackside. And the best thing about this show is, yes, sometimes you come out with these records that everyone knows, and then sometimes you don't. And I know for me, this is a record that I would have picked on my own.
Yep.
But I bumped into Chet at an APA reunion last week, which was awesome.
Wait, like talk about APA, because I know, so that's your band, right?
We've never not had a bad time hanging out, ever. Like,
I can't imagine it, you know.
No, but like APA, that's your band, right?
Yeah.
It's a band,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Because we also want to like talk about
Yeah.
that for a second and kind of like help like.
Well, just like Tom, it's an old band. You know, it's from the 90s, and we just got back together 2 years ago.
So you still play out?
We've played like 4 shows in the past 2 years. So I don't want to say we play out, you know,
But you
like,
play out some. You played out in the last couple of years.
There was
That's
a
cool,
moment where we
see?
didn't like
and
each
it's
other
so
enough.
cool,
so.
and this is the thing. It's like, because we're brothers and close in age, and then one of our younger brothers, Warren, has become now my really close younger brother, who I just loved. Shout out Warren Bailey. Like, loved seeing him grow and to be a positive, awesome punk and human, and then like even at times like trials, he's handled it well.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? And that's just the best thing about all of it, because like I say this a lot, like in interviews and stuff, and because you're conflicted as a child and adolescent, and then you see great people like Joe Strummer or Joey Ramone say, punk is not, it's not about being a dick, it's about being loving and being paying it forward and being good.
Well, there's a community involved, you know.
Yeah, sure.
That's the thing.
It is, and thank you for accepting me in your community.
Oh man, come on, you know.
Oh man, this is so much fun, and thank you, Matt. This is so fun. We're outside because it's crazy inside. There's a record swap, people selling vinyl records. Again, Trackside, so much love and respect.
Death Pickles? They have Death Pickles inside?
Yes. Oh, yes. But Chet and I were talking, and I was so anxious. And I got to say, in the back of my mind, I had 3 or 4 records that he might pick.
Was this
And-
one of them?
No, well, that's the thing. He's got, like I say, impeccable. You have impeccable taste, and I'm like, oh, is it English Dogs? Is it like this Oi band, or is it Clash's second record?
I
Which,
refuse to be
Yeah, but you know what I
that
mean?
predictable.
But the thing is, but I love this record, so I sent it to Cassie, and I start getting more messages, 2 a day, 3 a day, 5 a day, 8 a day. She's like, I love this record, thank you so much. So, let's talk about this record.
Let's do it, man.
It is for the audio only. It's Redskins, Neither Washington
nor Moscow.
Well, so this is Chet Knight. Talk about it, please. Like, you got the floor.
I'm like, first of all, like when I first heard like the name of this band, I really did think that it was going to be that it was going to be like an oi band.
Yeah, yes, and I think
There's
a lot
influence in it.
You're not crazy for thinking that.
Right, but I mean, it's not at all.
I mean, they made a point of doing their own thing. So yes, the skins part isn't the thing.
They're affiliated with a group of anti-Nazi.
Well, they're actually they're all members of the Socialist Workers Party
for sure, and they're affiliated with people like Billy Bragg.
Yes.
Attila, the stockbroker.
Shout out Billy Bragg.
Yeah.
And it's mainly it was Chris Dean.
Yes.
It was his kind of vision, and other people have come in and out. In case you hadn't seen it, this is the record.
It's amazing. It's incredible.
Insane.
It's like so I hadn't heard it, and so Tom sent me the link, and I've been listening to it, and it's incredible. Like it really is incredible.
Yeah. I mean, it's not just like a niche kind of thing.
No.
Where you would think, well, maybe only soul fans or maybe only skinheads.
Right.
No. It would surprise me to find out someone here's this record and just isn't into it.
No, right. For sure.
But somehow it's almost a secret still.
Well, I think it might be because so I think that this came out like before there was like a big miners' strike, and so they got behind because so many of the lyrics and actually everything that they believe like passionately is about the working class.
It is.
And so they got behind this miners' strike, which actually happened I think like a year after this came out, and they I think that because it was a strictly English thing, and I think that or like British thing, and because it was the skinhead thing, I think in the U.S. it didn't translate a lot.
Communism, but the thing is there's a wittiness and a dark humor.
Oh no, for sure.
Sure.
No, for sure. But just from the outset, like
speaking to your point, that is. I mean, you're kind of at the crux of the issue of why these guys aren't here.
Exactly.
Because they should.
It's an English thing to an extent.
Right.
And so
but it's a skinhead thing too, which is very misunderstood.
The kind of socialist thing is a turnoff.
Right. And the skinhead thing.
In America, people don't understand skinhead.
They don't. It's and even when I was younger,
on both sides, don't get the amazingness of this band.
So basically, they're fucked from the get-go.
Well, yeah.
And the beauty of it, just like you said about art, is they weren't confused about that. There's no way they thought, well, we're going to do this, and we're going to be top 40.
So listen. So when you and I were chatting, and I started sending this to Cassie. This is wonderful because you and I, every time we talk, I'd like to say impeccable taste, like we love talking about music.
Yeah.
Cassie as well. And Cassie's like, well, I never heard it. And then I'm getting more texts, and I'm like, I'm on a ladder working. She's like, I listened to this record 8 times today. Like, you know,
no, really. I mean, it's just absolutely incredible. And I remember, so I was into like old Jamaican ska and two-tone and a lot of that in the late 80s, like early 90s.
Yeah.
And so a lot of my friends were skinheads that probably listened to this, but I was kind of more on the fringe of that, so I didn't.
Right.
I've never heard it.
Well,
I mean, I heard it and I was just like, oh my.
She discovered this 2 weeks ago.
I mean, like when he told me about it, and I'm like.
It's crazy how music is.
Which is awesome.
I discovered this when I was a teenager in the late 80s. You know, however and whenever you come, you
that's the thing
you
about
come
it,
about
and that's the
something. It doesn't change its awesomeness.
And that's the magic of music. I mean, I learned about this band from Tal Bayer, who was one of the singers of the Pie Tasters, who I lived with for a few minutes, and he was like, have you not heard of the Redskins?
Right.
I heard it. I'm like, you're absolutely right. How have I not heard
I'm
this
like,
band?
how sad is it that I didn't
level
know
of
that?
popularity as like the specials.
But I think it's because
there was
of the
always
thing.
certainly was a connection.
Oh yeah, for
if
sure.
You're talking about back back in like the two-tone era, there was a crossover.
Well,
for sure.
Christine said that he wanted to like sing like the Supremes, but like walk like the Clash. Like he wanted to like combine these two.
I've read that quote before, and he's a little lower than the Supremes. You know,
there's a lot of, but
not
there's
quite,
so
not
much
quite
soul.
a soprano.
Like,
But he sings like Percy Sledge,
which is
wonderful.
It walks like the Clash, and I'll take that.
I think when I sent the message to Cassie and James. Again, shout out to James.
Shout out to James.
He
couldn't make it.
Family. We'll have Chet on for another record down the road because I love when music nerds meet and talk, you know, because at the end of the day, that's what we are.
Right.
It's a special language.
It's a book club for music nerds.
Well, plus this is a special day, so we're like doing this under like some kind of chaotic stuff. It is Trackside's 40th anniversary.
Well, I'm an old punk rocker, so the chaos
but the
works.
Thing is,
I'm okay with chaos.
When I sent them the text, you know, I'm like to Cassie, I'm like Jam Style Castle, like Clash, but also like SLF, but also like Motown.
Oh yeah.
And then meets fucking like Anarchy, like Freedom Fighter.
I'm so.
I mean, these guys come from like kind of a liberationist punk rock background for sure.
Right. Well, So I think it was like.
Can we talk about the opening?
We would definitely talk about the opening.
Let's get
but
this
I
situation sorted.
mentioned something that you said that like. So they came from a punk band called No Swastikas.
No Swastikas, right.
Right. So Christine and like another member like came from No
Martin,
Swastikas.
I believe it was Martin.
Yeah, I think it was Martin.
And on other records, we found out the drummer of the Style Council played on other Redskins.
On other, they did.
We're talking about this specific record, but
that's amazing.
Yeah.
But I brought some other records, you know, just.
You just were a fan today, and brought more, you were just a fan today and brought more shit.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like totally, like he has like this.
Well, yeah, you know.
This is like Campino, which is like I think this is the one that drummer from the Style Council.
That's what I was saying earlier. I wasn't sure, but if you're a Style Council fan, one of them was.
Well, I'm a Jam fan. Right.
As we discussed, right. But yeah, one of them was involved.
But like all of it connected.
I love it. Wonderful.
Well, again, no matter when you talk about the Redskins,
like awesome.
They're going to be the Redskins, so it's always going to be cool.
I think that why they didn't make it. And if you listen to this, and I encourage anybody who's watching this episode to actually like listen to this because I think there's
you can find it on YouTube, any of that kind of
for sure.
Spotify.
Because I ordered it once we found out, but it's not coming till Monday, so I've been listening to it on YouTube. I did order it on vinyl. It's definitely a repressing. Right. So I want to see your vinyl because there's a couple.
Yeah, sure.
I don't know what it's like on vinyl.
It's got the insert with all the lyrics, which is fascinating.
I love this. I love this record.
Well, I'm not surprised you love it, and I'm happy to be the one that turns you on to it.
So let me take the reins for like 400 seconds, because I know where Cass is going, and I know where you've been, and no one wants to know where I've been. But the power is yours.
Truth to that.
Kick over the statues.
No, wait.
So the beginning of 400 seconds of that beginning of a record.
No, yeah. No, yeah. The power is yours. The slow build on that is like incredible.
People talk about like the best intro to records.
Yeah.
I like Holidays in the Sun, the Sex Pistols.
Thank you so much.
There's certain, hey, Trackside. There's certain intros.
I'm not allowed.
You are allowed, Will, but you need to be like.
No. Is this your buddy?
I hired him to keep you away from us, man.
So
that shirt makes a lot more sense now.
Right?
All right, he's cut. Yeah.
So the power is yours. The power is yours. It's such an incredible start.
Yes.
Hey, wait. We can't separate the loud mics. I mean, we could, but like we probably won't.
But no,
you're the best.
The first side of that record
is amazing. The power.
We'll think about you.
The power is yours. Like the way it's like when I first heard it, like the first when I first heard the first maybe 10 seconds, I was like, I like it, but I'm.
Like, where's it going?
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah, sure.
And then you give it more, and then you're like, okay, it's building. It takes so long to build, but it's so incredible.
Oh, but
it's amazing.
But it delivers.
amazing. Like
if they build
even
like
a
that
little
and they come
bit.
in with the trash, then what a disappointment.
Yeah.
But instead they come in with...
It's so incredible. It's so slow and incredible.
And so when I mentioned the Jam, and huge fan, Jam
her favorite band.
Jam is my favorite
Jam
band.
might be my favorite trio.
They're my favorite band.
There's other
bringing down the trios, all right.
But what I really mean is the bass lines, whatever.
Yeah.
But then the funny thing is you say Style Council, and you go, well, the drummer plays in Style Council.
Yeah.
But
I'm pretty sure it's this one.
From this thing, which just shows you that punk music comes from black music and comes from.
Also there's so much soul in there. There's definitely so much
of
soul.
rock and roll is white people and black people not hating each other for some ridiculous reason.
Yeah.
You can't have Chuck Berry. You can't have Buddy Holly. You can't have that. Without it, and that means you can't have the Clash. That means you can't have the Redskins.
Well, you also they
also can't have James Brown.
They have ska influences without it having that like ska like beat. Like they do have ska influences.
I would say it's that back beat.
For sure.
I mean, Little Richard, shit, when the Clash brought out Buddy Guy on the road with them. I mean, it just shows, because we've always been that way. And even when Chet reached out to me a while back doing like the Muscat Train, it's like, because we're influenced by soul. Like me mentioning Sam Cooke and Marvin Gaye and Otis Redding.
This man, Rent Boys, Must Catch a Train.
Oh my God, Wrench Boys, yeah.
Simmerip off Skinhead Moonstop album. He's I'd say he's humble. He's not really that humble, but he can back it up. He can back it up.
Yeah.
That Must Catch a Train. Wow.
So you went to see the Rent Boys back in the day? Well, that was like a huge, like we were friends and we went to
I had no idea they did Must Catch a Train.
Yeah.
Someone just on Facebook posted that, and and I clicked on it and I was just like, they even had horns. I don't know who they brought in. It was beautiful.
It's like it's this thing because
I don't know if Monty heard it, but he would be proud if he heard that. He would be proud.
I hung out with Monty, and he's a beautiful dude, and we talked,
Right.
But there's this thing, and I was doing this interview the other day, and I was talking about like Peter Gabriel when he did his acceptance speech at Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Right.
And those first few soul records, like I was a new age kid, not a punk kid, whatever. But he said, listen, be humble and surround yourself by excellence.
Yeah, sure.
He's like, surround yourself by brilliance, and you're going to be great. And like, I could cry about it. Happy anniversary to Trackside and Brian and Mikey and Chet. I want you on like for 5 more records you picked, and this is the whole idea for the show was we want to do more interesting stuff, and do stuff like this.
I want to know what are Chet's. I really want to talk about some of the tracks.
A-side, the whole A-side.
Oh my God, no, me too, right? Whole A-side.
This is one of those albums where
incredible.
It's not like there's a bum track.
No, well, actually, no, there's not a bum track. I will say that, I would probably say that, there's not a bum track. And even so, when I say, my least favorite, that still means, it's something that I would still happily listen to. My least favorite would probably be Hold On.
Okay.
I don't know why. There's something about, there's something about the delivery of the vocals that, maybe I don't, it doesn't catch me as much as, some of the others.
Is that subdued kind of or something?
No, I think it's just that little, that, I don't know. There's something that just doesn't really get me as much as, some of the, boom, boom, I dance. Actually, probably even to Hold On. Every time I put the, I bounce around.
I do like the double time. Right.
Yeah.
And I like that.
But not of Hold On.
No, I'm agreeing with you.
So
I do. It also, I love it. I love that. Hold On does not give you that.
It's a political Motown.
Well, you.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. I love how.
And that's the beauty of it. These are skinheads who used to have a punk band who clearly are playing Motown.
I don't understand that. I just don't understand that. It's so they played punk, and that, which is great. I love punk, definitely. But then they go on to this, and this is all of these tracks are so different. They're so dynamic, and all of the lyrics are so thoughtful, and they're all about the working class.
I'm not a socialist, but these lyrics, they make a shit ton of sense to me.
By the way, you just defended why the best band in the world is Steel Pulse. because they came from Jamaica to England, and they just.
What about the Equals, man?
Yes.
How about Linton Kwesi Johnson? If we,
blood. Are you kidding me?
All we doing is defending, man. All we doing is defending. Come on,
like my lifeline.
Yeah.
He's like blood,
drinking blood, man.
And madness. Yeah. Like I mean, and by the way, when I'm losing my mind, which I've now probably lost 11 times in my life, like I hear those lyrics, and still pulse, like like the KKK, like unreal, whatever. The thing is about this is it's like the same thing because it's just speaking for the people who have no voices.
Well,
that's exactly what they're doing, and they're even almost for skinheads, like. Because this is also the same time period when the first, like, white power skinheads came out.
Right.
And they're just saying, we're going to actually bring it back to working class.
You know what? Being, like, for the working class, and because they had a lot of times people wouldn't book them because they would have the white like they come in
and have both sides.
Well, fighting, a lot of fighting, and they're just like, we're not about fighting.
They would use their shows as a battleground.
But like one of the things he said was that because they have a lot of the same, like, because they kind of dress the same as this, it actually was like stealing power, and it was stealing power because then people were kind of confused when they saw that it didn't necessarily
the power
mean.
Back.
Yeah,
the power is yours.
Which
is a great song.
What this whole record is about.
Right.
Take down the curtains, kick down the walls, take the power back. I mean, am I right?
I absolutely love. Also, how badass is it that? Okay, so Christy, this is incredible, and
Matt,
you probably could have gone anywhere.
I started your car today.
But like how, Chris, like this really could have been. They could have blown up if they would have. If they would have like let down some of their.
I 100% agree.
But they gave up. Christine like ended up after the miners' strike that really like got behind this record. Like didn't work out. He moved to Paris and he just ended up like writing for like some music magazine and then I think just dipped out. It's like how badass is that you're so passionate about what you're doing that you're just like.
Well, very much what he was saying is this is what I do, and if there's no place for it, that's fine. I'm out.
He just wasn't going to sell out. He just absolutely wasn't going to sell out.
And certainly,
because this is so good, it's so catchy. He could have.
Like I said, they could have followed a Dexter Midnight Runners. You think about that time period, like Northern Soul, like even later period.
Yeah,
they could have followed a town called Malice. They could have done that.
Yeah,
but
he wanted to be himself.
That's a great band, like Dexter Midnight. Like,
yeah.
I hope to discuss Texas one day.
The Young Soul Rebels, that's a great film. Come on.
It's like Elvis and Pavarotti.
Everybody thinks Come On Eileen is just like, that's
there's a lot more,
their eighth best song.
Well, you know what's funny?
It's not a bad song.
No, it's not, but like they have a lot better,
You know what's funny? Hey, Matt. You know what's funny about like, you know what's funny about life? By the way, this right here. This is funny.
Philosophy.
And music and all that. No, you're absolutely right. So you think about like, Come On Eileen. Or like, I remember being a boy in Queens, New York, and hearing Boys Back in Town. Well, now I'd be like,
Thin Lizzy.
I'd be like, it sounds like New Jersey.
Oh yeah, Thin
Lizzy.
Lizzy.
Sounds like Bon Jovi, New Jersey, whatever. But then I hear like
not that bad.
No, but listen, you know me, and I agree. I'm cocky. I have very good taste, But then I hear like Alive and Dangerous, and I hear Southbound, and I hear like Wild One.
Yeah.
And Phil Lynott, hands down, was a poet. Unreal.
Oh yeah.
And then at the end of the record, like on the greatest hits of like Dexys or something like this, then you hear Coming Out of Me, or then you hear Boys Back Town, and fuck me, you hear it completely different.
Oh yeah.
And it's wonderful, and it's 10 times better. It's like Pogues or the Class Rain thing. You're like, well, I didn't like this because I heard this when I was 12. Now I'm 30 and I'm hearing 20 songs and then
right.
You know what I mean?
There's a lot that for Come On Eileen to happen, it took a lot of brilliance.
Come On Eileen's a gorgeous song.
And the same thing, Thin Lizzy. I mean, Jailbreak kind of known, but like you can get bad reputation. Like the Lineup Brothers,
But the bad thing for them is they never even had the coming out. They never had the hit.
Oh, they deserve.
I think the only reason they didn't. I think the only reason they didn't have the hit was because there was like
politics.
There's a stigma.
Socialist Skinheads.
Yeah.
Yeah, that probably
It was
helped
like
Lizzie.
people don't. Yeah, they probably helped.
This black man, better looking than any of us, whose mom was white.
But
Matt.
So I did think when I heard the name of this, I did, and I saw, and like, you know, he sent the link. And I was like, yeah, this is probably Oi, you know, which wouldn't be bad, but it's not as relatable. This would be so, like, anybody out there
Trust me,
that
there's
didn't
nothing
know.
wrong with Oi. We can have a whole
There isn't.
These guys are.
It's so much more accessible.
Somewhat affiliated, but this is not an Oi.
But they're so much more accessible to the average person. Like this could have been. It's so poppy. It's so relatable.
That's
it's
what
so
I'm
like
saying.
it's so.
Anybody, and that's kind
so
of
many
the beauty
people
of
could
it,
love this.
as Tom said earlier. It's, it's about your heart and stuff.
Yeah.
And like Christine was like, you know, what I want to do is what I do, and this is what I do. Mm-hmm. And hey, you know, it's not it's not a top 40 thing.
Checks out.
That's not. I'm you know, kind of like in America, we talking about the 1%, the 99%.
Yeah.
You know, well, in music, he's talking about the 10%.
Right.
And he's like, and I'm happy to be. I'm happy for that 10%. I'm happy for that 10%.
Right.
So this is where we're at, and I love to get everyone involved. One, I love you, Chet. And Chet's just bringing records to us every 3 months. Okay, so this is where we're at.
I'd be cool with that. I love it.
Happy anniversary to Brian and Mikey and Trackside.
Other people you've known forever.
ATL, Oi, Punk Rock Skins, Cassie, fucking love you. Matt, security, everyone get involved.
That's Kevin. Kevin Calderon.
Matt, let's
that is a Guatemalan gorilla.
I don't want to wrap this up until I hear what your favorites are off your sleeve. All right. Hi, thank you.
Everyone's involved. We're at the end of it.
Kevin Calderon, ladies and gentlemen.
So tell us really quick what your favorites are.
I have two answers to it. My favorite Redskins song is The Peasant Army, which is not.
It's not on this album. Okay.
You have Will Green has a drinking problem. But it's on their Peel sessions.
Okay.
And you like ask about that kind of connection to Oi. Yeah, listen to the Peasant Army.
Okay.
And they clearly used to be in a punk band. On this, it's got to be Kick Over the Statues.
Oh, that's amazing.
Which proves that these guys aren't idiots. Power is yours.
They're very.
You talk about intro to an album. When you want to intro your album, you start this situation, sort it out. And then that song leads to Kick Over the Statues. That's how you make people 30 years later do a podcast about your record. That's how you do it.
I posted that and tagged you the other day.
What? Facebook saw it. I'm not on it.
Listen, much love, everybody. Love you guys. Cheers. Love is all around. Love you guys. Cheers. Thank you.